In case you missed it earlier, I'll remind you we did have an overnight, or in this case, a weekend export sale announcement that came out from USDA before we got our markets opened here. And it was one sale, it was corn, and it was to Mexico. However, the sale was split, and 77,000 tons of that total was for the current marketing year, but they reserved 55,000 tons of that total for a year from now. So even that relatively small amount was split. Okay, let's see how we're opening up here this morning. Keep in mind that we have the major USDA reports coming out a little later on this week. They'll be out on Wednesday. And the corn market backing up a little bit here today. We have March corn at 601. That would be down 5 3/4 cents on the day and on the low of the opening range here so far. The new crop December contract now down 2.5 cents. We're at 5.55 1/4. Well, let's shift gears and go to the soybeans with these quotes provided by bar chart. You have the March down 15 1/4 at 13.95. So now we have dived back under the $14 benchmark. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on with the November contract here on the soybeans. And on the new crop month for this year, well, it's priced at 13.02 3/4. Wow, down 19 cents this morning in the early going. That bears watching, that's for sure. Meanwhile, now we take a look at the wheat market. We'll go to Chicago first. We have the March contract down 6.5 cents at 7.52 per bushel, and July is down 6 1/4. On the Kansas City hard red wheat, we have March down 12 1/4 at 7.62 3/4. July down 11.5 cents at 7.64 per bushel. Let's go to the spring wheat market in Minneapolis, where we have March trading 9 cents lower. We're at 9.14 1/4. 10 cents off our overnight high. July now down 9 at 9.03 1/4. We are joined by Dewey Strickler of AgWatch Market Advisors. And Dewey, this appears to be one of those, what do they call it, a risk-off day? Selling everything on the grain side here. What's the deal? Is everybody afraid of the reports coming up, or did something change over the weekend?
I don't think anything has really changed here. They're looking just for some marginal changes in the ending stocks as far as U.S. Is concerned. Trade's going to be more looking here at what we got as far as the global stockpiles and Brazil's production. But if you look over here, the dollar is stronger here today. We were higher here Friday, so we're having a little bit of profit taking. I'd say one thing here right now, Marlon, it's time to quit looking at the butterflies and start looking at what's going on at these markets. When you look from a weekly perspective, we are dangerously overbought in corn and also in soybeans. I've got some cycle highs due here between the 12th and 14th, which coincides with the report. Does it mean that we're going to be looking at a top? Not necessarily, but when you look at the other things there with it, you need to be prepared.
Okay, well, Dewey, we'll open up our livestock trade here in just a little bit as well. We're talking with Dewey Strickler, and we'll be right back. Well, thanks again for joining us today. We're talking with Dewey Strickler about what is going on in our markets. Let's go ahead and open up our livestock trade here, Dewey. So here's the first look. We'll go to live cattle here first, and right now a little bit weaker across the board. And the most weakness is in the June contract. Now, February is down 20 cents right now at 137.12. The June is down 57 at 137.12 as we get things rolling here today. On the feeder cattle market today, we have the March down 25 cents. At 166.42, so that's $0.50 off our earlier high at the open. We have the April contract now down 40 at 170.47. Lean hog trade, well, we currently have the February down 60 cents at 79.05, April down 75. The biggest loss in May down $1.37. Weakness continuing on the nearby lean hogs this morning here, Dewey.
Well, I'll tell you, in the hogs especially, you got looking at higher weights. Exports to China are down, the cutouts down, the funds are reducing some longs, and you got some concerns here about the rising COVID virus, and I think that's weighing on the hogs, also on the cattle here as well.
Yeah, I just wondered, have you heard much about the throughput at the beef packing plants based on worker availability?
I haven't heard a great deal. They've been kind of quiet.
Okay, well, that could be an issue, and I know everybody's really keenly watching that. Well, thanks for the comments here. Dewey, always good to visit with you. I appreciate it. You have a good Monday out there, and have a good trading week as well. Dewey Strickler of AgWatch Market Advisors. At this point, I want to check in on the other markets too. Crude oil. Let's take a look at our energy trade. West Texas Intermediate crude, we're opening up that, February contract, 39 cents lower. We're now at 78.51 per barrel, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average was under pressure overnight, and they're adding to that now. March down 368 points at 35,739. So, Janet, that's the latest on our ag markets and some of the outside trade. Back to you.